Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning to you indeed, and welcome to Thursday. It is Thursday indeed. Thursday, the 12th of June, 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen. So wonderful having you company. Good morning to all of you wherever you are. And we're grateful that you've woken up and you are ready to start today to make the absolute best of today, because all that's before you is possible. Nothing is impossible. I've been sharing that with the students, and that's what we're going to be talking about in just a little while. But for those of you who've gotten up to watch us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, cbc.bb, good morning. How do you do? Here's hoping you have a terrific today. Thank you. Remember, one thing I ask of you is to share the show. Share the show, share the love. Tell someone else about us and bring them along to enjoy what we do Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning, bright and early, at the crack of dawn, almost. And so if you have an idea, or if you know of something or someone whose story you think we need to tell us about it by sending us an email. The email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Mornin, I didn't sound the G, so there's no G in there. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And we thank you for being a partner with us every single day. We appreciate all that you do to help us indeed. And big thank you to all of you. So how was your last night? Yesterday was a really significant day, I believe, because that was the opening of the 24/7 urgent care facility at Bayview. And so I was there, and what an occasion it was. It is a stellar establishment. I'm telling you, the absolute best when it comes to medical care. So that we'll tell you about a little later on in the news as well. So stand by for that opportunity coming up at 7. But whatever it is that you choose to do today, remember there is Q in the community. It's a very special collaboration with Banks, the Bear of Barbados, at the Wilde Gymnasium, Garfield Sobers Complex. That's where we're going to be today for Q in the community. Remember to wear your red or your blue or your red and blue, and come out and celebrate with Banks indeed. And of course, there's a prize for the best dressed red, the best dressed blue wearer, and some wonderful prizes as well for karaoke, slam-a-dom. There's a lot happening today, so get out there and enjoy yourself at Q in the community today. Now, coming up today, just a reminder that Saturday coming is a big day, and boy, are we proud of St. George Secondary School. We want to introduce you today to even more of those competing in the spirit of the Lion Show on Saturday at the school, and to give you every reason why you need to be there to give your support. And already we're excited about what's coming up. I hope you're equally excited as well. This morning as well, we'll celebrate the cultural ties that exist between Barbados and the Carolinas. There is a group called Low Country Voices. Why are they here, you ask? I ask the same question. And what are some of those cultural ties that we'll continue to celebrate? We'll find out this morning. Also, College Clubs is a football group. For them, it is family. That's an intersection of boys, and certainly we want to talk to them a little bit more about the club's success thus far and why they do what they do. What's the magic behind that as well? These are exceptional young people, by the way. And as we teased you yesterday, we'll get to meet today the mayor of Plainfield, New Jersey. There is a local story to be told. You need to stick around to find out who he is and what's the story. And before the day is done, the 1625 revolt introduces us to the character known as Cuffy. But who is Cuffy? And why are we celebrating today Cuffy Day? And we'll get to hear a lot more about that and also celebrate the season of emancipation. But before we get to all of that, there's this.
This segment of Exceptional Youth is brought to you with the kind compliments of the Student Revolving Loan Fund. Financing education the easy way.
Right, we are 7.5 minutes after 6 o'clock. Pearson Boyne smiles because Pearson Boyne is sharing company now with the folks from St. George Secondary School. I have been telling you, they are doing phenomenal work at the school. I am telling you, they have some intelligent, articulate, well-spoken students who attend that school and represent their school very well. And I'm telling you that the Spirit of the Lion show is also coming up this Saturday, and you have to be there. I can't say that loudly enough, but I'm introducing you now to the Deputy Principal, who herself is very, very proud to represent her school. Kellyanne Barrett, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Miss Barrett for you students. Okay, so forget her first name. I call her by her first name indeed. But you're joined by 4 of the students who are competing this weekend as well. Deshaun Williams, who's representing Salters. Deshaun, morning.
Good morning.
Good man. Constant, represented by Don J. Scott. Don J.
Good morning.
You were so perky so early in the morning. I know you're excited about the weekend, right?
I'm very excited.
We can talk more about that in just a moment. Jesse James, the man with the famous name, is sitting across from me. He's representing Market Hill. Jesse, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You shall tell me the story of Jesse James in just a little while, all right? Yeah? What little you know. And you're accompanied by your competitor on the other side, who's representing also on Market Hill, Tashana Pope. Tashana, morning.
Good morning.
Excited?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
I will find out in a minute. Indeed. Deputy Principal, Ms. Barrett, we are ready for Saturday.
Yes, we are. We're excited, and it's been an awesome 7 months. And
7 months?
Yes, it was launched in November 2024, and we were able to watch these 18 exceptional young persons blossom, grow, and develop into, as you said, articulate, well-spoken, confident young persons.
There is something you're doing at the school that is right.
Yes.
And I celebrate that with you today,
Yes.
and I have been celebrating with you all the time. I think I shall forevermore.
Yes.
What do you think is the magic that's happening right now at St. George Secondary School to bring such a spotlight on what you guys are doing?
I think it's a team effort. Everyone is on board. Staff, students, fellow students have been supportive. Old scholars, the community, and corporate Barbados. They're seeing what we're doing, and there's so much being pumped into what we're doing in this program and ensuring that these young children will develop into model citizens, articulate citizens, persons who will blossom and thrive whatever they put their hands to. So everyone is passionate about developing the young ones. We always tell them that they can be whatever they want to be, and that they're just as good as anyone.
Thank you. You're changing the culture, you're changing the
Yes.
perception.
Yes.
You're doing all at one time, and
Yes.
boy, does it look fantastic indeed.
Indeed.
Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. Remember I told you about that at the beginning before I started the show.
Yes.
And so that's what you're reminding them every day,
Every
but
day.
you're giving them support as a team.
As a team.
At St. George Secondary, and you're well led.
Yes,
You know, he's right there-
indeed,
he's over there
indeed,
sitting,
by
the
Principal Brown, indeed.
And that's what I like about him, is when he turns up.
Yes,
He
shows up, yes.
every single time
Yes,
in support,
yes.
and that is leadership.
Yes.
That is a fantastic example. So students, you have a very powerful leadership for you. Honestly, you do. They set some wonderful examples that I'd love for you to inculcate and to follow every single day of your life, showing up for each other. So we'll come back and talk a little bit more about what the school is just doing in just a moment. But you see these young people, I can't wait. Deshaun!
Yes, please.
Salters is where you're representing indeed.
Yes, please.
So tell me what you've been doing over these 7 months to get ready for this show.
Well, basically, I was rehearsing with my partner, Shekinah Major. We were going through our outfits, our,
Your speech and so forth.
yes, the speech and so forth. Next, we had the walk, where we were telling other people, fellow people, that we have the show coming up, so we want their support.
Yes.
So just come out and at least help us.
I really want Salters to come out and support you for real.
Yes,
Now you're in 5th form.
Yes, please.
See my girl over from Market Hill is laughing. So you're in 5th form. Have you given thought to what you want to be when you leave school?
Yes, please. I
What's
actually want to be a professional cricketer. I want to captain the West Indies ODI side and
Great.
T20 side.
Wow, this is fantastic. So you love sports.
Yes, please.
What is it about cricket that you love so much?
Well, I grew up playing it. I was watching my father at a young age, going to all of his matches. So he
I'm going to do your last name to see if there's a famous last name.
he basically inspired me to
Yes.
play cricket when I was young.
And I just love your aspiration. One day you shall be the leader of the West Indies teams
Yes,
in
please.
all of the iterations of the game, indeed. And I know you have your mindset on that. What do you now know about Salters that you probably didn't know before?
Well, I know that they're famous for their little food, the lot of food trucks. They have a walk path right now.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, they also have like gardens in the area. A lot of people like come out. I see them on the walk path as well. So that's all I know. I've also been on the walk path as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
I really should take the walk path then. I've seen the food truck area. I haven't yet stopped,
Yes.
but it looks like it's a lot of fun. So
Yes,
it's
and
developing.
It smells good as well.
If nothing else, indeed. Well done, Deshaun. Don J. Scott, you're representing Constant. Are you ready for Saturday, really?
I'm very ready.
Oh, I like your confidence. What do you think you've been doing right to get you ready?
What I have been doing to get me right was going out and getting the opportunity to better my communication skills. Last Saturday we got the opportunity to go to Sky Mall and just promote the show. And interacting with the different faces actually built my confidence, and I would say that was a big level up for me coming up. Also rehearsals at the school, and yeah.
Yeah, listen, you just sent chills through my body simply because you're so well spoken. Deputy Principal, boy, I am so impressed with you, honestly. And so now the show is just a couple days away. Sleep for sure, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen your design for your formal wear?
I have actually.
And
I'm loving it. I feel it feels nicely fitted, and it represents something in the part I'm representing.
whoa, I can't wait to see you. Tell me about Constant. What do you now know?
What I must highlight about Constant, it is known for the two schools, St. George Secondary and St. George Primary. There's also a housing development on the opposite side, known to be Valley Drive. And I cannot forget Constant Plantation.
Yes, that is such a significant space in our history, Constant Plantation, out of which came so much that helped to develop Barbados indeed. So excellent work, Don J. Jesse James now, the famous name, the man with the famous name. What do you know about your name?
Ain't no name what, sir. Just growing up here, he was a cowboy.
Yes.
He was so saved before people.
That's right. So you know a lot. You know all the good things, which is fantastic indeed. And so tell me, why did you decide to be a part of this Spirit of the Lion show?
Because I like to communicate and meet friends. And I wanted to feel more comfortable with myself and learn how to open up and speak.
Nice.
And communicate properly and build self-confidence.
And so far, so good?
Yes, sweet.
Because here it is, you talking to me on national TV. Don't let me scare you when I say that. You know, people are watching you say that lovely smile that you have and seeing a confident young man who is prepared to take on the world indeed. You've done a lot over those 7 months. Who's been mentoring you as you got ready?
Mr. Holder.
Mr. Holder.
Yes, sweet.
Tough guy.
Big shout out to Mr. Holder.
So he's been whipping you into place and into shape, right?
Yes, sweet.
In terms of your formal wear, are you ready for it?
Yes, sweet.
All right. what color you're working with?
Black.
Okay. So that means you have to offset it with a different color. Have you seen the color of the shirt?
Yes, sweet.
And the color of the shirt is?
Green.
These boys are ready. Now you are representing Market Hill. That's a big place in St. George. What do you now know about Market Hill?
You know that it has a church located that goes by the name of St.
Is an Anglican church?
Yes, see, St.
Augustine?
St. Augustine.
There you go.
Anglican
Yes.
Church. And there's also a boys' school that I had years ago.
Yeah.
Connected with the same
Church.
Yes, please.
Yeah, there's a lot of history at Market Hill, and now you know better, which is really, really fantastic. So you need to share it with everyone with whom you engage, all that you know, because there's a lot inside of you that you can tell. So don't be afraid to tell it.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to tell it. But you're working with this young lady here, this one called Mr. Shauna. How has it been working with her?
Nice, man. She's calling me. She's wrapping me up.
But she gets you ready.
She's the girl, so
You have to give in.
yes, see.
Shauna, did you hear how he described you?
Please.
Is that right?
Yes, please.
So you work on him.
Yes, please.
And so you're happy with your mate here. So working together, I know you're the one who takes a lot of the power, and you take the lead in all of this, but are you ready as a pair?
Yes, please.
Right. What have you been doing to get yourself ready?
I have been going over my speech with my partner, practicing at home with a young lady that assists me
Yes.
with walking and going to school and attending the trainings.
You're excited about this show?
Yes, please.
Tell everybody watching why they should come to the show.
For me, I would want you to come to support Market Hill. It don't matter, it don't matter if you're in Constant, Starters, or whatever, just come on and watch me and support. Also, I have an IG page that named The Spirits of the Lion Show. Go on IG and make sure like Market Hill so it can win. Because I was in first, but I got taken out
By who?
Gun Hill. So now this morning, I got up, I went straight on Instagram. And look at the likes and I see I got 1,000, so that is good because I did went home yesterday and I went and cried with my mother and start crying. So I happy that I catching back up.
Okay.
Catching back
So
myself.
there is a People's Choice Award.
Yes,
Yes,
there
please.
is.
And we need to go to what's it, Instagram's page?
Spirits of the Lion Show.
Spirit of the Lion
Yes, please.
show on Instagram,
Instagram.
Yes.
and like for your favorite personality.
Yes,
And then,
yes.
oh, this is, nobody told me about this before. No, I'm learning about this. Talk to me, Madam Deputy Principal, about all of the elements of the show. I know you're working with the Community Independent Secretariat,
Yes,
who are
we are.
marking their 30th year.
Yes.
And they've been giving you support in this.
Yes.
How has that support been?
That support has been awesome, from guidance with the actual program in itself, the actual show, the technical side of it. They have been tremendous help to us. In terms of the school and the show in itself, and well, the program, because the show is just a culmination of the entire program that started in November. The students would have been exposed to several sessions in team building, public speaking, eloquence and etiquette. They have been out interacting with the community with the children at Workman's Primary. They had a session reading for them, and I think that really opened them up to interacting with the young ones. And then they had an awesome session with the elderly at Cornerstone Nursing Home. That session, if you were to ask them, I think they all came back beaming. They could not imagine the experience interacting with those elderly persons.
Jesse, is that true?
Yes, we said.
What was it like interacting with the elderly at the old people's home?
It was fun. It was okay. It was a good motivation, motivating
Experience.
Any
spirit.
experience for you?
Yeah, experience. You had this one old lady that was 103, and all she was telling me is, "Do the right thing." Do the right thing.
And that stuck with you.
Yeah.
Do the right thing, Jesse.
All I know was laughing. She was running in my head. She could
Wow.
still read.
Wow.
She could speak properly. She ain't forgetting nothing. She
Nice.
tell me where she live.
Wow.
Yeah,
So it was a good time.
good
It was a
time.
really, really good time. Again, what do you want to be when you leave school?
Me, I want to be a cricketer.
You're a cricketer.
Yeah,
You're
see.
captain.
Yeah, that was
Indeed. Deshauna, what about you when you leave school?
When I last school, I wanted to be a massage therapist.
Ooh, I love massages. So maybe you could be my masseuse at some point in time. You're on the right path, each of you. You're doing so well. I'm so excited for what you will do in your futures, but what you'll do on Saturday as well. I know, very quickly, Deputy Principal,
Yes.
talk to me about next week's activity. I know we
Yes.
all need to come to the school.
Yes. So next week we have another big marquee event on the 18th and 19th. That would be the Wednesday and Thursday next week. And we always had this idea, well, Principal Brown always had this idea about having a mini AgroFest, and we're working towards that next week. So that's a chance that we're going to open up the school to the public, where you can come in and see what we have to offer, especially in the skills area at the school, because St. George Secondary are working towards having this very strong skills program where our students are exposed to skills in cosmetology and barbering, electrical installation, general construction, housekeeping, you name it, we're doing it. So there are several skill areas that we want to showcase, and then there are other departments within the school that we'll be showcasing to the public. So we want persons to come out and see what St. George has to offer.
I mean, let's take over the school plant next week.
Just come and take over the school. Yes.
We gain St. George.
Yes.
Indeed. So that's what we're doing next week, Wednesday and Thursday at the school.
Yes.
During the school hours, of course.
Yes.
And we want to encourage you to go out and get your tickets. Get your tickets for Saturday.
Yes.
Tickets available still at the school?
Well, they're going quickly. There are few tickets left.
That's a good problem to have. Yeah, just a few.
Yes. What I want to say about next week, that event is free.
It's free.
Free of cost, yes.
Free, open door policy indeed. And the thing is, we get to know what the schools are doing. We get to see what St. George Secondary is doing. We get to see the curriculum with which they interact. We get to see the finished products that they've produced, because skills are what really drive the society. We tend to think it's just simply academics. No. There's a lot of money in what these children are doing. And so they're showing you that they are ready for the world next week, Wednesday, and next week, Thursday. And so it's open to all of Barbados, not those from St. George alone, but for every one of us to be able to go in and engage, purchase from, engage with the students. Give them your best advice, as the elderly woman told you. Remember? Right. And so that's what it's all about. We want to have a society engaging with the school. We want to have a school engaging with its society. And so St. George Secondary now leads the way where that's concerned. It's the very first time I've heard of the Spirit of the Lion show. And so I am happy to know that this is happening. You need to be there. Few tickets still remain at the school. Other tickets also remain at Jeans Inc. at Sheraton Center. The doors will open from around 5. The show starts promptly at 6 o'clock. And then these stars will take over from there. At the end of it all, there's going to be a lion and a lioness for this year in the Spirit of the Lion show. Remember to go to the IG page, the Spirit of the Lion show. Like your favorite character, because we're looking. Mark Hale said, look at them. Look. Compete. I love it. Compete strongly, indeed. But they're looking for your support, indeed, on the IG page as well. So we wish you well in doing so. Thank you so much, Deputy Principal.
Thank you so much.
Again, I cannot say it enough. I am immensely proud of the work that's coming from St. George Secondary School.
Thank you. We're proud
work.
indeed.
Forever shall it be.
Yes.
All right, thank you, students, as well. I wish all of you the very best in your endeavors, all right?
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. We're taking a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk the guy, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
That segment of Exceptional Youth was brought to you with the kind compliments of the Student Revolving Loan Fund, financing education the easy way. There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, authored, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
28 minutes now to the hour of 7 o'clock. We love meeting people. Meeting people sometimes for the very first time is what we absolutely engage with. And so we're making connections today, and we're making connections for a reason. There is a link between Barbados and the Carolinas. That link is so profound that if you do your own history, you'll understand how it came about and how Barbados helped to build out the structure of the Carolinas as well. And that means a lot to the people of the Carolinas as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that and a whole lot more on why you should attend a very special concert tonight and a very special concert on Saturday. We will talk to you about that now, because I'm happy to have with me my good friend for life, Pastor Deborah Grant of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the AME Zion. Deborah, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good to see you as always.
Again.
Yes, indeed. And you brought along some wonderful honorary people here with me.
Definitely.
Like the honorary consul, Rhoda Green. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Welcome home. In a sense, welcome to the Caribbean. I know that your connections are not necessarily Barbados, but you do represent the interests of Barbados there in the Carolinas.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Good, I got that right. Test of my knowledge. But then you brought along with you a singer of note. He leads the choir Low Country Voices, and they are here to perform in Barbados tonight and again on Saturday. He leads that choir, and his name is Nathan Nelson. That last name is not Barbadian.
No, it's not. But I feel like I'm home. So
you feel like you're home. Have you traced your roots in any way at all? And do they lead to the Caribbean?
A little, but not in depth to really speak on it, but that's something that I'm looking forward to doing, is really tracing my roots.
We have a Nelson who works with us.
Really?
Yes, we do. But his name is connected to St. Lucia. And so it'll be interesting to trace your roots to see if there's any similarity there.
Well, he gave me some homework to do, so.
Work on it. And so, Deborah, we're here. These are connections that we're making between South Carolina and Barbados. I know they're performing at your church, AME Zion, on the weekend.
They're performing at Sealy AME.
Right, Sealy.
Yeah, Sealy, that's in Kalmarok. So they're performing there on Saturday. We no longer have a physical home as I shared before, but they'll be performing there on Saturday and at James Street on this evening. Again, all in the Methodist families. When I say that this whole trip has just been amazingly God at work, it's truly that. So we're really looking forward to having this group who's paid their entire way. They've come in with just ministry of His goodness and His glory to share with us. And I just hope that everyone can get an opportunity to experience His goodness through their voices.
I really hope so as well. But in telling the story through voice, I'm sure we're telling the story of that resistance, that establishment, and now the pronouncements that come from those voices as well.
Yes. So what I want to also mention is that their leader, the choir musician, I think it was, he had come before with one of the other trips to Barbados. And therefore, when the group was looking to say where we're going to go to next, because of Barbados' rich currency, he was able to say Barbados. And as a result of that, we have 55 people here today.
Wow.
Yeah, the choir is made up of about 30 odd, but they bring their husbands and their other family members and so forth. So this again speaks to the value of Barbados, even by one visit, what can happen from that one person's visit. And the connections in the Carolinas, I was sitting there wondering, what can we talk about without being here all day? Because there's so many connections with the Carolinas. Music, there's family connections, there's the Charleston and Spikestown and Arlington and all that. So many connections.
Yes.
I just don't even know where to go from there.
But perhaps Honorary Consul Rhoda Green can help us go from there. These connections, because when you stop to think of it, it's cultural, it's architectural, it's just instinctual. So from where you sit, what do you see to be those links that are difficult to break?
It is just so comprehensive. The way I term it is that the whole social structure that was established here in Barbados, tested and tried, it was taken and transported elsewhere. It went through the Caribbean area, particularly with the British colonies. But then in 1670, some of the very settlers who owned plantations, merchants, they were looking for greener pastures, and they actually made their way to Carolina. The first settlement didn't do well, but the second one that was set up in the Charleston area became very successful. And what you had was a replication of what was tested and tried in Barbados.
The Barbados model.
The Barbados model, as it is called. So what I have done, in addition to being the honorary consul, I was really drawn into an orbit where there are so many aspects. I call them strands, I call them threads, I call them themes, but it is just across the board. And we focus on some well-known. We focus on the architecture, we focus on food, we focus on the trade, many aspects. But for this particular event, there is a religious, a denominational underpinning that we have not focused a whole lot on. And I think this is an opening to be able to recognize that contribution that started here with the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel, Christopher Codrington. So when we examine all of these threads, we have such a tapestry, we have such a network, we have such a legacy that we are reclaiming, and that we are trying to understand how broad it is, how fundamental it is, and then we want to be able to capture it so that we can pass on the information to the next generation, not forgetting what our ancestors did, how they live, how they practice their faith, how they survived. It's a lot to talk about, and it is really a comprehensive understanding of the society that we now occupy, and we have to correct where we can, but we have to celebrate when there's something to celebrate.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot.
And so the Low Country Voices are here to be a part of all of that, the reclamation of our history and our past to tell the new story. Talk to me a little bit, Nathan, about knowing what you know about the history of Barbados, knowing what you know about the struggles of Barbados, knowing what you know about the religiosity of Barbados as well. How did that inform connections which you brought to Barbados?
So, first of all, telling the story of our ancestors or those who traveled into the Carolinas from Barbados, telling that story musically has been a real treat, because I get to understand my grandmother and her parents, the way they were raised while we went to church and did the things we do in church, sang the songs we sung in church. And so it was looking at that history and looking at Charleston from when I knew it growing up in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, that had all of those rich ties musically. We are a faith-based organization, although we perform across the country. And one of the things we wanted to do is look at how the music tells the story from Barbados to America. We know that spirituals have become, or is, the song of the Low Country, but telling that story of why the spirituals are even born, and how do we make that connection from the church and from the persons that have traveled from the slave trade all the way to the Low Country, from the Caribbean. So it's been a huge treat, and we hope that tonight you get to see a little bit of that story being told musically.
Deborah said you brought about 30 voices.
Yes, about 35, I think.
35 voices. And so I cannot wait to have people really experience the richness of the tone, the richness of the message.
You know, music sound like.
And the vibrance of the performance. Tell him about me, Deborah. He needs to know about me. And so we want to tease the audience just a little while with what they can expect, not just the song alone, but the sound that you'll encounter when you go to James Street Methodist Church this evening. So watch your screens, folks. Turn up the volume because you want to hear this. The Low Country Voices. Low Country Voices. Well, we'll sing out from the banks, but we won't be back no more. Indeed. And that even then was a message of resistance and a plan and a purpose and a rallying call that our slave owners never understood. No. And that's good. That's a good part of our history. Yeah. And so that's what we can expect with you guys tonight and really, on Saturday.
Really tell the story from unarranged spirituals to the arranged spirituals to now traditional gospel and what we know about contemporary gospel. So we hope to tell that story of how the church evolved, how music evolved through those times. So. Wow. Looking forward to
cymbal beating, Bible beating, foot thumping, all of that. That's the energy tonight. James Street Methodist Church begins at 6 and doors open from 5, I believe, around there. And but the words that we love is free.
Yes. There would be a free will offering taken on both occasions, and that's just to help offset some of the additional costs that we would have had. But other than that, it's not a fundraising effort. It's not about the money, as I said before. It's about ministry. It's all about ministry. It's not about the money at all.
Wow.
Yes.
So apart from that song we just heard, what else can we, give me titles that we can latch onto, that we will say, aha.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Roland Carter, who has penned many arranged spirituals, but taking songs like I Want to Die Easy, which was at one point a lot of the call songs, field songs is what we used to call them. Right. And so songs like Oh Happy Day, that has been somewhat modernized. So going from unarranged spirituals to more choral style all the way up to gospel is what we're looking forward to having to be a part of the audience today. And it's always a service, so we don't look at it as a concert. Yes. You're coming to church with us, and we're going to worship together. So that's what we hope to take the audience on the trip tonight with.
This is exciting, this is powerful, this is building connections, this is all of those things wrapped into one, but this is an experience, a spiritual experience, as performed by Low Country Voices. Connections we're building tonight at James Street Methodist Church beginning at 6, and then again on Saturday at AME Sealy, which is in Collingwood Rock, beginning at 5. But the doors will open an hour just ahead. Entry is free, but we ask you to walk and come give as you can, a free will offering. So give as you can. The experience, we believe, will move you sufficiently to give plenty. And so all of your funds will go to help offset the costs of having these lovely voices come to perform for us and minister to us in Barbados. It's one opportunity, but one great opportunity. We want you to be there. Whether you choose James Street this evening or AME Sealy on Saturday, or both, because you just can't get enough. We want to encourage you to come on down indeed. And so, Honorary Consul, Ms. Green, I wished I had more time to talk to you, because I believe there's so much more in you to tell about the connections between ourselves. And so, if you're available, another time we can talk to you a little bit more about that, okay? Is that fair?
This visit, because we're leaving on Sunday. But I would love, I mean, we're constantly bringing, we hope to establish reciprocal type of engagement, because so many people in the Carolinas have connections. I mean, we're discovering it more and more and more.
You notice she ignored me?
Yes.
Then you come back.
Walking history book.
Yes, indeed. So Deborah Grant, Pastor, AME Zion, thank you so much for coming. And thank you for having them. And thank you for the church opening its doors for that level of ministry. Yes. And we want to fill the pews, we want to fill the spirit in the church indeed. And we want you to come, folks. That's you indeed. And so, Honorary Constable Rhoda Green, wonderful seeing you. Wonderful meeting. Thank you for the work that you're doing there to continue telling the story, documenting the story, engaging more with the peoples of the Caribbean, these connections indeed, these through port cities, Bridgetown and Spikestown, and in Charleston. Thank you very much indeed. And Nathan, you're your team, powerful voices in ministry indeed. Keep the good work up, my brother.
Thank you so much.
All the best to you and your team. You're very welcome. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow.
This segment of Exceptional Youth is brought to you with the kind compliments of the Student Revolving Loan Fund, financing education the easy way.
We have 9 minutes to go to the top of the hour, and we are showcasing what we believe are exceptional young people in Barbados doing exceptional things, sometimes things that you didn't even know about. And because we tend to qualify them negatively, we are happy to show the positive efforts and endeavors of our young people in Barbados on Mornin Barbados. So today, we meet a group of young men who've combined themselves as college clubs. But football is what they do. Football is the gristle between everything that they do. I'm happy to introduce you now to these co-founders, is Chad Lewis, Kristen Clark, and Trevon Cadogan. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Talk to me, Chad. Let's start with you. College clubs, how did you guys meet?
Well, we met through, I personally knew Trevon from the St. Michael's School, met Christian through the University of the West Indies. We started football as Trevor invited me to play football as a one-time scrimmage and not a side scrimmage. So from there on, we decided that we could do something positive from here. We started posting on social media, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever the case may be, gained a lot of traction. Excuse me?
That's all right.
We gained a lot of traction. We decided that this could become an every Friday thing. It established into the name Friday Football, essentially. We attracted all walks of life. Didn't matter if it was international, regular, people that don't know how to play the sport. So we decided that like it could be a light in the dark, essentially, through all the violence that's currently going on. So that was basically the key to uplift and empower the youth.
You play football?
Yes, sir.
You all play football?
Yes, sir.
So it's the love of the game that brought you together, though you knew each other casually as you engaged with each other as well. But Kristen, you decided to co-join with these fellas in forming this.
Yeah.
You could have simply gone your way, having your own sport between yourselves and left it there, but you saw something a little bit more.
Yeah.
What was that more?
Well, for me, it was coming together with friends, you know, and building a bond amongst ourselves. So it was more for me socializing, getting to learn the sport some more, improving skills, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're also providing opportunity.
Yeah, we're providing opportunities for other people, meaning people that play for different clubs and their respective teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like a getaway from all the things that they're doing, so they could improve here, not worrying about the coaches or the staff, anything like that. So that's what you basically do.
And so Trevon, is it just fellas coming together to play the game, or it's more than that?
I would say it's more than that. It's kind of like a community in the sense that we have, as Chad has said, UE students. As Christian has said, we have persons that are already enrolled in football teams, but then we also have regional students, persons from St. Lucia, St. Vincent, etc. We have guys from surrounding communities that would come out, others from other tertiary educational institutions. So generally it's a community amongst us.
What do you do? I'm just trying to get a sense of really what is it that you do. Is it just coming together to play the game, or what?
I would say we more or less just come together to play the game, find ourselves in some competitions, just trying to be involved in the community sometimes, just doing different things to help out, especially at UE and maybe BCC or whatever the case may be.
But Chad, you're pulling players from other teams to join college clubs, team basically, and so. And then what have you been in competition, and what if so? What kinds of competitions have you been in, and what has been your success rate?
Well, we use the University of the West Indies, the Usain Bolt complex, as our main ground.
Right.
So whenever the University of the West Indies holds tournaments, we take place in those. Currently, we haven't taken place in any division tournaments as yet, but that's something we're looking to get into. Obviously, as I said, recruiting players, so that's a nearby future thing. But our success rate, we've won all our tournaments. Not to brag.
All. You see them all. We beat them bad, in other words. We beat them bad.
We want all our tournaments. Getting into league football is something that we want to do. But at the same time, we don't want to take away from the scrimmaging that our main players. And so we would see it as like doing something separate, establishing college clubs as a division, like first team football type of thing. But yeah, that's basically it.
So what does it take to get into league football?
Well, that was more so a question for Christian as he's in league football.
My brother?
Yeah.
What does it take to get into the league?
Well, for us, I would say it would be hard because, as I said, everybody plays for their respective team. But it wouldn't take much because we have coaches that come in there and watch us, staff, people that are interested in football, school as well. So it wouldn't take much. It would just be on our part to communicate and go from there.
And set a plan and go for it.
Yeah.
I know you're co-founders, but who's your coach?
Coach.
Right now, you don't have a coach? You guys are good enough to coach yourselves?
Right now, we don't have a coach per se, but we have people who do coaching, who study coaching, that sort of stuff. And then we have coaches that come from, I think, different clubs. I would say probably Carlton, right? So
from other clubs to come help.
Yeah, so
and that's what keeping it simple, basically, in its setup, but doing effective work, winning tournaments and the like. And so, Trevon, you're also providing opportunity and avenues for other young men to come through and to be spotted as well. Am I reading correctly?
That's right.
And so, how do you go about doing that?
Basically, you come down, you
to the same Usain Bolt complex.
Yeah. So you come down, you play. You know, if you're to a higher level, obviously some league coaches might see you and be like, okay, well, you're at a high level, it will let you form a team, or maybe they might even potentially get a scholarship. So it's different avenues of progression.
So do you play for UE Blackbirds? Any of you?
No, sir.
What team do you play for generally, outside of college clubs?
I mainly college
You
clubs.
play mainly?
I play for Atlas United.
For?
Atlas United.
Atlas United?
And I play for Face Village FC.
And yet y'all could come together. Though other separate competitions come together as one in college clubs. And that's what you're saying. That's what you are, a collective. And you're saying if there are any young men like yourselves who want to be a part of this, they can do so as well. Play for your individual club, play for college clubs as well. And so it's open to gathering of skill sets to make the best team possible. And so if anyone is watching and they want to be a part, how can they do so?
Well, y'all can find us on Instagram at College Clubs BDS. We post all of our events, all our tournaments, the location, because we don't always run out Usain Bolt. That's just our main place. We run out Dover, Coverley, Rubis Strengths, St. Simons, whatever the case may be. But you can follow College Clubs BDS on Instagram. College Clubs BDS on Instagram, and of course once you're in, they'll let you know where they're going next, that kind of thing. And then, so what's the next event coming up that you're competing in?
Well, the next event would be, I think, an event we are hosting at UE. It would be a four-a-side tournament. And basically,
four-a-side?
Not four-a-side, 4 teams, sorry.
4 teams, okay.
Yeah, so the teams will be red, blue, white, and black. And if you're interested, you can just let us know. And
when is it?
It will be June the 13th.
This weekend?
Exactly.
This weekend?
Yes, because essentially we play football every
Friday?
week. Every Friday.
What time is that? What time does that start?
Start usually at 4 o'clock. And around 7.
If it's a game, I mean, look at the length of a game alone, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So 4 o'clock on Friday, Usain Bolt Complex is where this 4 teams competition will be, and college clubs will be competing with other clubs and other teams as well, and we want as many of you to come down and support these young men indeed. Gentlemen, thank you. It's not been done in Barbados before, and I think this is, for me, as far as I'm aware, very unique, but it's coming from your minds, and that means that there's so much more that can flow from your minds. I'm excited about what the future holds for each of you, and I wish you well with all of your endeavors, all right?
Thanks.
These gentlemen represent college clubs, Chad Lewis, Kristen Clark, and Trevon Cadogan. And there are other people in there, but if you want to be a part, follow them on Insta, on College Clubs BDS, to get more about how to be a part and where next they shall be. Thank you all, the best to you. All right, exceptional young people this morning. We'll take a break. We're back in a moment.
That segment of Exceptional Youth was brought to you with the kind compliments of the Student Revolving Loan Fund, financing education the easy way.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at news now. Major expansion of the physical structure of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is on the way. This is coming from Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley. She says a Chinese company has won the procurement process to carry out the expansion works. The Prime Minister made that announcement while speaking at the official opening of the Bayview Urgent Care 24/7 facility at Bayville. And she said the construction works will result in the QEH capacity being expanded by 40%.
Being the largest expansion of the QEH since its construction. The Minister of Health will make a ministerial statement in Parliament to give the details of that expansion in the near future. But suffice it to say that the combined investment with the construction of 2 new polyclinics and the significant expansion of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, plus the upgrade of existing polyclinics, plus the commitment to purchase over $140 million in equipment for the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, the first tranche of which has already started, is a testimony to the extent that the government is committed to upgrading the quality of healthcare in Barbados for Barbadians and to ensure that it remains one of the key considerations for the quality of life of our people.
The Prime Minister also announced that the construction of the facility to accommodate the linear accelerator machine for cancer treatment at the hospital will be completed within a matter of weeks.
After that, the commissioning of the equipment and the training of the persons will take place, and I therefore anticipate that well before the end of this calendar year, that Barbadian cancer patients should be able to benefit from that facility at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and look forward, I'm told, that within 6 months or so, the PET-CT scan machine will also be available at this hospital.
Well, Barbados is moving with pace to strengthen its mental health legislation. It's necessary to tackle the reported mental health crisis with a significant rise in anxiety, depression and stress, particularly among young people. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Kenneth George made the announcement while delivering remarks at the Caribbean Regional Conference of Psychology at the Accra Beach Hotel and Spa. Here's a report from Anesta Henry.
Barbados has recorded a 100% increase in the number of individuals seeking psychological and mental health services during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Medical Officer, the Most Honorable Dr. Kenneth George says, even though exact figures are unavailable, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is taking steps to prevent this issue from spiraling out of control. And improved legislation is one key strategy.
The Ministry of Health is in its advanced stages of developing new and improved mental health legislation, which is grounded in a community-based and human rights approach. External consultations have been completed, and your society was part of the process.
Addressing the conference, Acting Prime Minister Cynthia Bradshaw said, according to the Pan American Health Organization, approximately 10 to 15% of the Caribbean population experiences mental health disorders, with depression and anxiety among the most common conditions. She added that it is also a fact that suicide rates in some Caribbean countries exceeds the global average, underscoring the importance of collective action.
Among our youth, the situation is equally concerning. Studies estimate that up to 20% of Caribbean young people experience mental health challenges, including depression, anxiety, and behavioral disorders. Yet many remain undiagnosed, some remain misdiagnosed or supported due to the stigma and the gaps in the delivery of services. The COVID-19 pandemic only deepened these challenges. With increases in anxiety, in loneliness, and academic stress reported across the entire Caribbean.
The conference themed Caribbean Psychology Building Mental Health Resiliencies, Empowering Our Communities, is organized by the Caribbean Alliance of National Psychological Associations. President Dr. Khatija Khan says the theme is urgent and relevant.
In a region rich with culture, complex histories, and unique social realities, our psychological science must do more than reflect the world. It must reshape it. It must speak in our voices. It must be grounded in our context, and it must rise to meet the realities of our people.
The conference seeks to showcase innovative approaches, best practices, and other research findings aimed at empowering communities. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Sports now. West Indies women have taken first dibs in their women's one-day international series against South Africa, winning that first match by 4 wickets at the 3Ws Oval last evening. In the rain-affected encounter, the Windies women held their opponents to 232 for 9 from their 50 overs after sending them into bat. Tasmin Brits top scored with 57, while Aliyah Aline took 2 for 35. In reply, the Windies women needed a further 105 runs when the rain stopped play with the hosts on 128 for 4 from 25.3 overs. Well, that innings was then reduced to 34 overs, meaning that the Windies needed just 52 runs off 50 balls, and they eventually got home on 180 for 6 off 32 overs to win by 4 wickets using the DLS method. Kiana Joseph led with 60, Captain Matthew Haley assisted with 40, and Stephanie Taylor was left not out on 30 runs. Take a look at the highlights. Here on CBC TV8. We'll take a break. We're back in just a moment.
If damaging winds are expected, cover all of your windows. If you don't have storm shutters, board up windows with exterior grade or marine plywood. That hurricane tip was brought to you with the compliments of General Accident Insurance Company Barbados Limited. Future-proof your tomorrow.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that.
It's a Banks Q in the community party as Banks Beer presents Q at the Sir Garfield Sobers Complex. We are wearing red or blue as we add a little crop over to Q. Come early. There will be beer specials, giveaways, dancing, food, friends, and a good line. It is time to relax and start the weekend with a Banks Q from 11 a.m. Best dressed in red or blue gets $500 each and $1,000 for the best karaoke singer. It's Q in the community with Banks this Thursday. Yeah.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 minutes after 7 o'clock, let's turn our attention to the upcoming In Winners Circle program. And this year it is going again to be meaningful for parents and students as well. Joining me to talk a little bit more about it is Margaret Grant, who of course is going to be presenting in that workshop, and we know her very well, her face to Mornin Barbados. But Karen Perch is the program coordinator of In Winners Circle, Making the Right Choice. Karen, I'll start with you. Talk to me quickly about the benefits of this and what we can expect this year.
Okay, so thank you first of all for having me today. In the Winners Circle, it's a program which was founded by Madam Justice Barbara Allen. It would have started back in 2008, so we're in our 17th year of the program, and it's really designed to assist young persons with the transition from primary to secondary school. When the program would have started back in 2008, she would have been a magistrate, and a lot of the cases that would have been presented to her in juvenile court would have been pertaining to things such as wandering in the instance of girls and things like gambling for boys, and on further investigation when you have to do testing for the drug testing for boys and psychological assessments, we found that things such as self-esteem were really a challenge for a lot of the persons that were coming before the court. And so Madam Justice felt very strongly about having an initiative that could really intervene and point those young persons in a positive direction. So the program partnered with the Criminal Justice Research Unit, Planning Unit, would have created this, and along with Barbados Family Planning and other partners, they would have put together a program that really coherently addresses a lot of those challenges that young persons face, and particularly coupling it with the transition to secondary school, supporting them in that new endeavor as they go into the new school environment.
Because they take on a totally different personality in that new school environment.
Definitely.
And so, Margaret, you've been at the forefront of this fight too. And so, when it comes to transitioning, this is what you do. Talk to me about what you'll be presenting at the workshop coming up.
Okay, good morning again. The workshop is predominantly for parents of children who are entering secondary school. And we want parents to recognize that this is not the time to let go of the child's hand, but the time to hold it a little firmer and offer support. Children at transitioning stage, they go through so much and I don't think people really understand. So in that, we're going to be bringing parents to understand the adjustments that children have to make. The whole thing about saying goodbye to primary school is not just a physical departure, but it's also that emotional detachment that has to happen. There are some children who are not ready to leave primary school as yet, and parents need to understand that it is a process. And it's not something that children can wake up one morning and decide, you know, I'm done with that primary school. You know, they have relationships, they have bonded, so you have to give them time to come to grips with the fact that this is the end of the primary school stage. Now, with that said, we also want to let parents know what secondary school structure is really like. Understanding the chain of command, understanding the large number of subjects that children will have to take on, yes. The whole thing about the fact that they're going through puberty, another developmental change and stage, and then also what about the emotional stability of the child, recognizing that when it comes to secondary school transition, sometimes academic motivation can actually decline by as much as 30%. So no matter where the child is going to school, we want parents to understand that their support is necessary.
Hold their hand just a little bit firmer. Correct. I like the way you said that. While holding their hand just a little bit firmer to keep them on the straight and narrow, correct, so to speak, because it's a difficult time emotionally, mentally, and in some cases physically for those children. It's a total change from black lead to pen. That in itself, you know, taking on more subjects, that too can really hit you for a loop. And so this camp transition in the winner's circle was what's happening. And so when is it, Karen?
So the parent workshop aspect of it, which is why we're here today, we have the first parent workshop on the 21st of June, and next week Saturday, and that is going to be at the Ivan Harewood Center, Christchurch, yes, in Oistins, from 9 until 4 p.m. And our second workshop will be on the 28th of June at Queen's College, again from 9 until 4. So in this aspect of our program, we really want parents and caregivers, godparents, to really come on board, register for our workshops so that they can understand some of the aspects that are important to facilitating that transition.
Because there's a helicopter going at me, I have to wrap. But tell us very, very quickly, how can we register?
So you can register on you can go to our Facebook, our IG pages, Winner's Circle Inc. .246, or you can email us at winnercirclecoordinators@gmail.com.
All right, so it's open to parents of those who are making the transition from primary to secondary school. That's just, I mean, when you put them by two, we're headed for almost with thousands of people here. Just about 3,000 children sat. That means over 6,000 or 7,000. I like father and mother to be there. Godparents are also welcome. And so we want to encourage all of you to be a part of this. The change is important for you to be a part of. As Margaret said, hold a hand, but hold a hand just a little firmer to keep that guidance and help them to steady themselves with the change that they're experiencing as well. Not to be afraid, children, but at the same time to know that there is a route out through which parents can help you. Thank you both indeed, Margaret Grant and Karen Perch. And we want to encourage as many of you as possible to register in winnerscircle.bds.
Winner's Circle Inc. .246 for
Winner's Circle Inc. .246 on Insta. Okay, got you. Check it out there, register and be a part of it indeed. Thank you, ladies. All the best. You're welcome. Helicopter down now, landed. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share?
We are about now to meet the Mayor of Plainfield, but not just the Mayor of Plainfield alone. He has created history. He's doing phenomenal things. Great stories are told of who he is and what he's been able to do. But you know, the story we love most is that he's from Barbados. And boy, are we happy to meet this Bajan from afar. His name is Mayor Adrian Mapp. Adrian, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I am doing well. How do you do?
I am doing wonderful.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. So much so that just last week you were returned again to be Mayor of Plainfield. Fourth time around, fourth term basically. That must mean so much to you.
It means a great deal to me. Having been elected previously to 3 consecutive terms was historic. And for me to be elected now to a 4th term is even more meaningful, and it's a statement that has been made by our constituents in the city of Plainfield, and it makes me enormously proud as a Bajan to be here in these United States and to have the faith and trust of the people of my city to be returned to office for a 4th consecutive term.
I'm going to talk about what you do, but I want to hear now first about where you're from in Barbados. Let's start in your roots. Where are you from in Barbados?
I am from First Avenue, Greens in St. George. That's my birthplace. It's where my navel string has been buried.
Wow. And you know, this month of St. George, this month of June, we're celebrating in St. George the regathering, looking at the land. And so that's the land of your birth, St. George. And that land of your birth shaped who you are. Where did you go to school while here?
I went to school at St. Jude's Elementary School, and from there I went on to the Seventh-day Adventist School. And those are the 2 places where the foundation was laid. And so it was a solid foundation upon which I went on to construct the life that I have today.
I was just going to ask you that what from that experience helped you to be who you are today. So could you share with me some of the values that you still use today that were honed in you from the birth and growth in Green St. George?
Well, I would say it's hard work, and having been a youngster from Greens who grew up in a household without a father and having to struggle and going on to the Seventh-day Adventist School without having lunch and relying on my friends to share a sandwich with me, it informed me as to how important it is to care for others and to not let the circumstances of your birth influence the destination to which you aim. And the foundation that was laid in Barbados, the many people in the community who helped me through those struggles and who were able to help feed me, those are things that really stayed with me and motivated me to want to do good and to want to make a difference in the lives of people, you know, whomever I happen to come in contact with. And those hard and humble beginnings helped me to shape a future, to create a vision for the people of Plainfield that I now serve for the last several years.
So it was in 1977 that you landed in Plainfield, and you used all of that grit to which you just referred as well to position yourself as a seasoned financial expert and an expert in so much else. Landing in Plainfield in 1977, a different world from Green St. George. Talk to me a little bit about what you had to get your feet accustomed to so that you could make home and make business in Plainfield.
And I actually landed in New York City in December of 1977, where I lived for about 1.5 years before I moved over to Plainfield, New Jersey. And I was able to identify very early many of the issues that were plaguing my city of Plainfield, and I wanted to get involved. And I decided to take the plunge with both feet. I assembled a group of very close friends who helped me to put together a campaign that I then went on to build upon that and was able to create partnerships and relationships that help me to really become a strong leader and to be able, beginning on the Plainfield City Council, then moving on to the Union County Board of Commissioners, and later returning to Plainfield as its mayor. And so the conditions around me at the time caused me to want to get involved because I felt that things could be better in the city of Plainfield that I adopted as my home. And I wanted to leave a mark and to be impactful, changing the conditions that existed in the city of Plainfield at the time and helping to transform people's lives and making the city a better place. And I believe that we've been able to do that in a very, very powerful way. And the city is now doing very well. We've attracted close to $2 billion in economic reinvestment. We've transformed all of our parks. We have invested in our infrastructure. We have worked very hard on driving down crime to the point where we have reduced crime by over 52%. And the city is very safe, and we are attracting people from our surrounding communities. Lots of people from New York City are moving into Plainfield. And so Plainfield is now a very vibrant community that I would describe as the envy of our neighboring municipalities.
Did you at any time meet the resistance that said, you are not born here? So therefore, because you're not born here, who do you think you are to talk to me? Did you meet that?
I meet that to this very day. And actually, that was a part of this most recent campaign, where my opponent dwelled on the fact that he was born and raised in the city of Plainfield. He's a young man, less than 40 years old, and there's that coded language, to imply that I don't have a right to serve in this leadership role. And that is when individuals are not informed, not knowing or recognizing that the United States is a nation of immigrants and that we all came from someplace. And so to this very day, I still hear that I am not from here. And that suggests that I don't have a right to the leadership position that I hold. But both of my daughters were born right here in the city of Plainfield, and they were educated here, and they are a part of this community. And I, like everyone else, have a right to be here, like every immigrant, because I know that that this is a nation of immigrants, and we all have a right to be here. And if we all went back to where we came from, there is the late poet laureate Amiri Baraka, who said, if we all went back to where we came from, the airports would be very crowded.
But you hold that position against the backdrop of a position made by President Trump's administration about if you're not from here, you need to go back. So how do you manage yourself, manage your work in the face of all of that?
Well, that's a very good question, which I have openly stated my position as it relates to the immigrant community. The immigrant community had been under attack by the current administration in Washington, D.C. And I will not allow the rhetoric that is coming out of Washington, D.C., the attacks that are coming against the immigrant community. I will not allow that to silence me. And I will continue to speak out in support of the members of the immigrant community, regardless of where they hail from, because I think it is important. And this country cannot survive without the immigrants, the people who clean homes, the people who build houses, who pick the fruits that we eat each and every day, who cut our lawns. These are all people who are from the immigrant community. And I believe that this country would suffer a significant blow and the economy will struggle significantly if every immigrant was to be forced to leave this country. And if the attacks continue, I believe that it's unwise. It's like fascism. It's, unconstitutional, the many things that are being done. and one would expect me to be silent as a member of the immigrant community, but I can't allow fear to determine the policies that I adopt and the positions that I articulate. I have to be a voice for those who can't necessarily speak for themselves.
Do you get the sense that that voice, that message is being heard, though, in Washington to effect the change that you're seeking?
Well, I believe it's being heard, but it's oftentimes ignored. But I think that one has got to keep beating the drum. And there's broad-based support across the United States by people who are progressive, people who understand the role that immigrants play. And the very people who are attacking immigrants, they too themselves are immigrants. Their parents, their grandparents came here from somewhere, and yet their position is that they have climbed the ladder and have been able to get on top of the roof, and now they want to pull that ladder that they climbed on in order to get to the positions where they are. And I think that's very hypocritical, and we have to continue to speak out. And I know that there are many progressives who are in Congress, whether it's the House of Representatives or whether it's the U.S. Senate, that will continue to push back. And there are people all across these United States, such as Mayor Baraka, who I had to go and stand with as he was arrested for standing up for immigrants. And I had to be there to support and to speak out against the injustice that was being done to him, and by extension to so many members of the immigrant community here in these United States.
We know of the power of the mayor. There's a lot of power that is vested in you. And so, knowing the gravity of what that is, talk to me a little bit about how exciting or how daunting it possibly is to be able to manage a city known as Plainfield.
Well, it's exciting because it places you in a position where you can influence the direction of the city, where you can impact change. And what's important is for me to surround myself with people who are very qualified. I don't do this by myself. I need to have a governing body, also known as the City Council, that works cooperatively and collaboratively with my administration. But I need to have people, directors in place who know what needs to be done and how to get it done. People that are highly skilled and highly qualified. And so together we work to execute on the vision of transformation that I have for the city of Plainfield. And because of that cooperative partnership, because of the partnerships that I've established at the local level, as well as at the county, state, and federal level, we've been able to bring resources into the city of Plainfield in order to make things better for the people that call Plainfield home, the people who visit here to work, to shop, and to play.
I want to get back to your work because you're obviously doing some wonderful things. It's reported of you that we've seen economic growth and development in Plainfield, almost $2 billion in private investment and more. And so as a financial expert, you're integral to that. Fiscal strength has been a part of your platform and success. Public safety advancements as well, and infrastructural overhaul. Are those still the platform upon which you operate?
Absolutely. Those are the primary pillars that I use to move our city forward. And those were the pillars that I campaigned on in this most recent election. It is important to have public safety as job number one. People want to know that they are safe in the community that they visit and that they call home. People want to make sure that they have decent recreational experiences. People want to know that they have decent, quality, affordable housing. People want to know that the infrastructure, the roads, are decent, as well as, given the COVID-19 pandemic and the educational loss that was suffered as a result of our kids not being able to have access to the internet, we've invested millions of dollars in ensuring that there is free internet in all of our municipal buildings, our parks, our playgrounds, as well as come the fall of this year, we would embark on phase 3 of that program, where there will be free internet in every home across the city of Plainfield. And so no one will be left behind. And so we have and continue to create a city that provides the services to every person that calls it home. But we've got to make sure that we provide a community that is safe, inviting, that we provide recreational opportunities for people from a baby to an active older adult. And we have to make sure that we provide housing to people who desperately need housing, affordable housing. In New Jersey, we have about 220,000 units short of housing. And so that has been a focus of my administration as well, making sure that we build not only affordable apartments as well as market rate apartments, but that we build affordable homes, single and two-family homes, as well as townhomes for sale at an affordable price, so that people can own a part of the American dream and create generational wealth that can be handed down to the next generation. So these are the things that I have campaigned on. These are the things that my cabinet have embraced, and that the people of Plainfield, believing in division, came out and supported me and cast their vote for me to go on to be the first. Not only was I the first 3 consecutive term mayor, but I will be the fourth term mayor. 4 consecutive terms. Never happened in the history of this city.
Do you get a chance to look at Barbados, and in your assessment of how the country is being run, how would you rate it? How would you assess it?
I believe that Prime Minister, the Honorable Mayor Mo Motley, I think she has done an excellent job locally, as well as being a mouthpiece on the international level, speaking out against things at United Nations, standing up for the environment, and speaking about global warming and its impact on the entire world. But what she has done locally in Barbados to better the lives of people, I believe that she's done an excellent job, and she has placed Barbados on the map, so to speak. And the level of services that she has delivered with her cabinet and administration, I believe that Barbados is much better off as a result of the leadership of the Prime Minister than it was at any other time.
Do you have aspirations of running for Senate? Yes or no?
I do have I do have aspirations of running for elected office at the national level. I would like to become a member of the U.S. Congress, and after being mayor of the city, that's my next aspiration, to become a member of the U.S. Congress of Representatives.
When last were you home in Barbados, by the way, just out of curiosity?
I was last in Barbados last October, when we launched a chapter of my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and I will be there. I usually try to come at least a couple times a year. I will be there next month in July.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome back home. We can't wait to welcome you home indeed. What is it, the food that you miss most from Barbados?
Well, I do miss my flying fish and cookies. I do miss that a great deal. I also miss my conkies.
Yes.
And it's something that I always try to get whenever I come to Barbados. I have to go to Oystons. I have to touch all of the spots where you get the great food. And so I love Bajan cuisines, and I'm always looking for the good places in Barbados where you can get some good food. And there are many.
There are. There really, really are. You know, Mayor Mapp, it's so wonderful talking to you. From Plainfield you are, and from Barbados. Going to reach across the water to meet another outstanding Barbadian who is not just representing himself or the place where he is, but also representing Barbados. When you stand up, we stand up alongside you to celebrate you and all that you've been able to achieve. Now history making, 4th time as the mayor of Plainfield, and achieving so much growth and development for your city, for the people of your city. That means a lot to us. And so we want to celebrate you as well from Barbados. We look forward to welcome you in July when you're home, and we hope you find the food you're looking for and the people who you miss as well, even from Greens in St. George. So thank you so much for joining us this morning on Morning Barbados.
Well, thank you, Pearson, for having me, and I look forward to coming to Barbados next month and eating some of the good Bajan food.
One of our commenters on social media is saying to you, good morning, Mayor Adrian, congratulations to you for doing a great job. And she lives overseas, so I'm not so sure if she's been in Plainfield, but for sure, our viewers are wish you well. She's actually out of New Jersey. So again, so she probably knows you quite well, but she's supporting you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day, sir.
Do the same. You stay blessed. Take care.
Likewise. Morning Barbados takes a break. We're back in just a moment.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
As we take a look at the season of emancipation, then you know today, the 12th of June, is the day in which we pay tribute to King Cuffy. And you know, there's a song in the Methodist Church that I sang as a little boy, Tell Me the Story of Jesus. Well, hope today they'll tell me the story of King Cuffy. And that's what we're talking about today, because lest we forget, there's a lot that we can still learn from King Cuffy and his experience and the revolt of then and how it conditions us to now. But I don't want to tell the story. These gentlemen can tell the story better than I can. We have with us Rodney Grant, who is the advisor to reparations and the economic enfranchisement program in the Division of Culture. Next name is Dr. Javier Wallace, a heritage consultant and a storyteller. My grandmother always said a storyteller is a liar. But that's not what I'm calling you today. So she said, don't ever call a person a liar, call them a storyteller. Thank you, Mom. Indeed. And across from me is Professor Stephen Hayes, who's from the Carolinas, as a matter of fact. And as we started, here we are at the end, indeed. And so let's talk a little bit about the story of Cuffy, King Cuffy. and why it's relevant today still.
So, good morning again, Pearson. Is happy to be back here. It was on this day in 1675 that, you know, Coffee had the plot to not only to resist slavery, but to become the first king of Barbados. You know, it was said that if Coffee's plot was actually successful, that, you know, he was looking to establish himself as a king, because he was a king in the nation he came from, and he was, you know, they had everything prepared. They had stool, the Ghanaian Akan stool, and I know they were prepared to install him as the first king of Barbados. So this day, even before we had 1816, the Buster Rebellion, we had Coffee and the enslaved fighting for their freedom in 1675. And this day is a significant reminder again for us to remember that, you know, these enslaved represent a resilience that we must hold dear. It reminds us of what we can do in the face of adversity when all odds seem to be against us, that you can still have hope. And, you know, hope is one of those things you can't ever lose. When you lose hope, you lose everything. And although things are stacked against you, you must still have hope that you can see brighter days. And so 1675 reminds us of the hope that is enduring, and I believe that should dwell in all of us and should be one of the compelling legacies of 1675, that we must always remember to have hope, no matter how sometimes things might seem dire. We must have hope that it can be better, and it will be better.
Yeah. And there's so many glaring examples. King Coffee is one of them. You use the word resilience, but oftentimes we see them as rebellious. Not necessarily the most positive definition in which we delight, in which we see people, but how could we be rebellious, Javier, when we were just being?
Well, I actually think rebellious is a good way to explain or describe the condition and maybe the way that many enslaved people would have felt. And what we saw manifest itself in 1675 with King Coffee is these were individuals who were not content with their condition and what they were forced to be in. And, you know, for so long, to justify the violent system of enslavement, those who were enslaving people and were supporters of the system used the terminology and language of pacification, or these people were passive and they actually enjoyed it, or they needed this type of condition to be the full humans that they believed that we never were. But I think it's apropos to describe them as rebellious in that moment. I think for us, as Mr. Grant has said, like, we have to embody some type of rebellious spirit to know that better days will come, and we can lean on the things that our ancestors have done for us, even if it didn't transpire the way that they wanted it to, that they were rebellious in spirit because they were hopeful and hoped for a better day to come.
And the reason I said that, I'm glad you phrased it in the way you did, because oftentimes we label the individual as opposed to the action. He was simply saying, I am not someone to be caged. I am more than that. And so my actions were rebellious, but I'm not the rebellious person you want me to be. I'm a king, as a matter of fact. And so he was hoping for his coronation. What is a cultural consultant, by the way? Just sort of curiosity.
Well, for me, I'm a cultural consultant because I have studied race, culture on a global level, and I do a lot of work. And so when I say cultural consultant, which just means going into different spaces, whether they're local or far, and thinking about the way culture impacts society and how do we tell those stories, and how do we think about culture in ways that are accessible to the general population, documentaries, art projects, walking tours, teaching in classrooms, and so just different way culture manifests and helping tell stories in different spaces.
So now I know that. How should we tell the story of King Coffee?
I think Barbados is doing an amazing job of telling the story of King Coffee. The desire of the Division of Culture to want to take this to not only a stage here in Barbados, but to globalize it, and collaborating with amazing individuals and great artists like Stephen Hayes to not only tell the story here in a way that's not just on black and white reading in the textbook, but something that people can see, that they can touch, that they can engage with, that they can see in the water, that they can see outside of the water, and that it connects to different places around the world. I think it's one of the best ways to learn and to engage that's not just in a textbook.
And that's where you come in. Professor, not just in a textbook, but to connect it to reality and to life. How easy or difficult is it to teach this kind of history generally?
For the most part, sometimes it's difficult, but then learning the history makes it a whole lot easier, you know, and then connecting with the communities makes it a lot easier. So that's one of the main things with the artwork that I like to do is connect with the community to help make what I do as an artist to turn this artwork into history, as a living history where people will come in and see it. And even engaging with the community, it allows to tell this story from time to come. So, yes.
But it has to be tangible.
Yeah.
And I said it deliberately because there's some people of us who are very tactile. If we can't touch it, it doesn't exist.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we find it difficult to assimilate that information. But here's a man in 1675 who we didn't even meet. I wasn't even thought of at that time. Why should I care? Often you're met with that kind of a resistance in acknowledging your history. What would you say?
Why should you care? You have to think about everything that led up to you being just who you are right now. The history of what he did to help free you all from being enslaved is important. It's an important history to think about, like, okay, so he did this, so what can I do to further the next generation? You know, so like our generations they need to learn what happened in the past to help figure out what's going to happen in our future.
You use the word, you're an artist.
Yes, artist, creator. Yes.
Artist, creator, what do you mean by that?
So a creator, I like to use my artwork as a way to connect with people and create things. Like sometimes it doesn't have to mean anything. It's more about the work. Or as an artist, it has to mean a lot. So there's two hand-in-hand force with each other.
Behind you, but you don't have to turn
It's
around.
okay,
Looking at the screen where as most you're making a mold.
Yes.
That's the kind of work that you do?
Yes, I like to pull from life. I use my models. I use models to come in. I like to cast from them because that's a way of telling a story from time to time. So like, if there's a person I'm casting for a certain purpose, their great-grandkids are going to come in and be like, hey, that's my granddaddy. And he is posing for the likeness of this person here. And it's going to continue to tell this story from generations to come. So I do more life castings.
Ronnie is so important he's here because we need, again, I come back to being tactile. To tell that story, we need to see sometimes.
Tangible. Tangible.
So what are we doing?
So actually tomorrow, and this is why these gentlemen are here, they've been working with us for the last 2 months or so. And we actually put in a bus to represent King Coffee in the ocean tomorrow at Spikestown, and we're leaving it in the ocean for a year. So it can take on the natural form of the ocean. And we're going to come back next year at the same time and take it out of the ocean. Actually, tomorrow's Friday, right?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure because I get my days
time is really strange.
I get my days all mixed up. So actually, we were supposed to put it in today, which is Coffee Day, but we couldn't for certain circumstances.
Yeah, we said it's really choppy.
Yeah, so we're going to do it tomorrow. So it's going to be a bus with 6 hands, and we molded hands of the children. The children are the hope that we talk about in the future. Coffee represents the incident in 1675, while the hands represents the future and what is possible in terms of going forward. So it's an exciting project for us in the Division of Culture as part of our memorialization and how we keep memories and legacies alive, and how we use them as teaching moments. We like to think, and Minister always pushes it, that season of emancipation is a moment for us to always to reflect, to educate, because history is the thing that must guide us. You answer the question, why should we look back? And for me, history is like, where we leave little strands of DNA that is so important to our makeup. So our makeup is who we are as a people, our character, our good nature, and these are the strands that we can learn from history and the legacies that are left for us from our ancestors that we can use to be better people and be better citizens. And we hope that from all of these examples and all the things that we are trying to do in the Division of Culture, that we can continue to shape an identity and a character that is important for the Barbadian person to want to be, to want to learn from, so that we can continue to build a better society. And that is one of the fundamental roles of culture, and that culture must continue to play.
Sometimes we look ahead and all we see is darkness, but when we look back, we see how far we've come. And that distance traveled requires resilience. It requires at times rebellion. It requires also reshaping who we are, because we're buffered by all the realities. And so this season of emancipation allows us to be able to do so. Tomorrow's lowering of the bust into the sea at Speightstown. Is there a ceremony happening there? What time?
It starts it starts at 10. You know, so we're gonna have the normal formal ceremony on the beach. We're gonna explain the process, how we got there, and then we're gonna excitingly go out on a barge. Where we go some days 200-300 yards out into the ocean.
You don't like water.
Once you on the surface, I am not too fond of
it. Go to the barge.
You know, I am not too fond of it. But we have some divers on standby because we are working also with the Coastal Zone Management Unit. We must thank them for their support. You know, they lent us earlier a marine diver. She went down and she mapped an area for us in terms of where we should put this bus. So we're gonna, I think we're going something like 20 or 30 feet under the water. So anyhow, we're gonna go out. You know, I asked for a life vest, make sure they have a life vest for me for sure. So we're gonna go out and we're gonna do the ceremony then out on the barge and watch it being submerged into.
All right, so folks, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, near the jetty area.
Right opposite the Esplanade.
Area. We know where we're going tomorrow. Go there in enough time to witness the actual bust and the hands and everything else before they're lowered. And then be there a year later when they're removed, and we will see for ourselves the distance it's traveled. And so I want to thank each of you gentlemen. Rodney Grant, of course, the advisor to Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement Program in the Division of Culture. Dr. Javier Wallace, a heritage consultant and a storyteller. I do telling great stories. Professor Stephen Hayes, who is himself an artist, a sculptor indeed of note. And so, gentlemen, wish you all the best. And tomorrow is a significant day, as much as is today as well. Right, we're taking a break. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back.
That's where we shall be. Remember to wear red or blue. Red and blue. Wear your red or blue. You're getting prizes for simply doing so. Bears are 6 for $20. That's supported by banks indeed. You get a chance to be paying your bills for the whole year and a whole lot more. So be there early o'clock today. We're on radio with Lit Live from 12 noon as well. But that's our time today. Boy, what a full day we've had indeed. Are you full too? Hope full enough to want to come back tomorrow. Remember to share the show, share the love. Our little crew wishes you a great today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you.